Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harris and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books, and it's a late one. It's a late Friday show. So, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I usually record the Friday show over my lunch break at work on Fridays. But I didn't take a lunch break today because I'm off all next week, and while I'm off, I'm like, just message me if you need me, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be in France next week with my family in Disneyland Paris, which is very exciting. But because I'll be at Disney, I am probably going to legitimately, I'm going to carry my phone, but basically turn off all the data. So I'll be mostly incommunicado unless I've got Wi-Fi or something. My phone contract doesn't cover France for some reason. They all used to, and then there came this thing where we Brexited, right, which was an awful idea. And then when we Brexited, we got to get rid of all the cool EU rules, and one of those was just that networks couldn't charge you for phone service in the EU anymore. And now they can, so that sucks. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about what I've been reading this week. We're here to talk about what I'm going to be reading next week. We're also here to talk about the videos I've made this week, the videos I'm making next week, and finally, anything else under the kind of bookish sun. So, let's talk about what I've been reading this week, and I have some fantastic news for everyone who was really upset that I hated the beginning of Dark Age, which is I'm still reading Dark Age. I didn't DNF it, and I'm loving it. So I'm literally in the middle of chapter 50. So I am 60% of the way through the book. I had to pause in the middle because I was listening to it on a run, and the run finished and I had to jump in the shower, so I had to pause the audio, and I haven't picked the book back up since then because I've just been working, cooking, family time. I will be reading some more in a minute, but for now I'm at the 60% mark, and I am loving this. And I'll tell you what the problem is, right? So my problem with Dark Age part 1 was that it was also samey, and that's not an issue anymore. It reminds me a lot of Crossroads of Twilight, where what Jordan did in Crossroads of Twilight was he tried to have the book, he tried to split the book into chunks. So it'd be this is the Elaine chunk, this is the Perrin chunk, this is the Matt chunk, whatever. And when he did that, you get so many chapters in a row that are so samey. Now, Pierce Brown in part 1 of his book, he goes back and forth between Darrow and Lysander. But Darrow and Lysander are doing the same stuff. They're in the same kind of rough place. They're doing the same activities. They're both in high tension military situations, and that whole section, the chapters were blending into each other. I was having to restart them because I was oh, I didn't even realise this was a Lysander chapter and I'm 3 minutes in, because my brain was just switching off because the chapters were so samey. And there was one time I went out for a run, and it was a 38-minute run, I think, and I listened to Dark Age the whole time, and when I got back in I was I have to rewind it because I barely remember what happened. So part 1 was very slow going. Since we've last chatted last Friday, I finished part 2 and I'm halfway through part 3. Part 2 was a massive improvement. We got back to characters that I really, really like. We have a new viewpoint from Virginia, which is great. There was a fantastic chapter with her from her point of view that was a real bombshell. I am sure that people who have read this book will know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil things for people, but all I'll say is that it was a real lightning bolt moment that I was not expecting, and that really changed the tenor and the tone of the book. Big fan of this book currently. I would imagine if I reread part one in a like more like receptive state, having read further on and kind of knowing where it's going, I might actually enjoy part one more as well. But not knowing where it was going, not knowing kind of the potential of the book and what was coming up, I was really struggling with it. It just was not holding my attention at all. It does not help that the Darrow chapters in Iron Gold were my least favourite. They're still my least favourite in this. Ephraim has become the real MVP of this book so far. Ephraim's chapters are fantastic. I'm really loving the Lyria chapters as well. But it's been really interesting to get, like, Ephraim's chapters are completely different to Virginia's chapters, to Darrow's chapters, to Lyria's chapters. All of them have a really different tone and vibe, whereas part one, we did have 2 points of view, but they had very much the same content. So yeah, loving it now that it's mixed up. I don't see any way I could give this more than a 4-star currently, just because of how much I didn't like the first part of the book. But I'll probably finish this early next week, because there'll probably be a lot of time when we're away where, like, so like when you're home you can do like chores and jobs around the house, but like when we're away I'll literally just, like, we don't want to wake the kids, we're in a small bungalow, so like, we're literally probably both of us just going to be sat reading all week. So I imagine I'll get a lot of Dark Age read. However, several of my friends said the exact same thing, that they thought they were going to get loads of reading done and that they were just too tired, so they didn't actually read anything at all. So maybe when we next speak, which I think will probably be a delayed Saturday show, so next Saturday I'll probably do the Friday show, because we're travelling back, split across Friday and Saturday. So we're travelling from France to England on Friday, and then from London to home on Saturday. So yeah, so we've got we're doing 4 travelling days basically, in order to split the travel up as much as possible for the kids, so that it's less of a like chore, I guess. But yeah, so will I read tons of this? I don't know. I'm only taking my e-readers with me. I'm not taking physical books. I'll obviously take headphones for audio stuff. I will probably get quite a bit of audio time while we're in Disneyland, because my daughter will need to have, because she's still having naps at the moment, she'll need to have her naps in a pram being pushed around for like an hour. So I'll probably get like an hour a day of audio time, but that could be it. And I do have like 14-ish hours left of this book. We'll see how far I can get across tonight, tomorrow evening. So maybe I'll get a lot more listened to and read. But for the time being, my theory is I'll finish this next week. And if I do, you'll never guess what I'm reading. If you've been paying attention, you'll already know, because I've told you guys where I'm going with my next read, and it is A Memory of Light, the final book in the Wheel of Time. I've been reading Wheel of Time 1 book a month with my really good friend Matt. If you're a Wheel of Time fan, or you like these books, you may have watched our spoiler discussions. We tried to read a book a month. We did manage a book a month for quite a long time, and then life really started to life us, and we never actually managed to keep that up. But we're here now. How many are we? So it's August. I think that would mean that we have missed 6 months worth of recordings. So we recorded an episode, like, it's taken us January, right? So January to December, 12 months plus 8, 20 months So we recorded at least one most months. We recorded one most months. Because, oh no, there's 13 books as well. There's an extra book because there's the prequel. So yeah, we've recorded 14 episodes of our spoiler discussion, and A Memory of Light is up next. It's been a really long journey. I imagine I will have, from everything I've heard about this book, I imagine I will be very satisfied. I'm really excited to read this book. I'm really excited to finish Wheel of Time, for multiple reasons. Like, number one, being able to, say, like, I've finished the Wheel of Time. I'm done. This series is also done. It's permanent ink. Sanderson said he's not going to do any more. And the Jordan estate, his wife, Harriet McDougall, has said that she's got no interest, if Brandon's got no interest in doing any more books. So, like, Wheel of Time is done. And it's really nice to have a series that you can read and finish and be like, that's it, the line's been drawn in the sand. And I'm genuinely pretty excited to read this. And this is a lovely physical copy. Sadly, I won't be taking this with me to Disney. As I've said, I'm only taking an e-reader. I haven't decided yet whether I want to take the Books Palmer or the Books Go Colour 7. I feel like the Go Colour 7 is better for like a long period of reading. But I was also thinking I might want to take the Palmer with me into the park for when I'm pushing Alice around. Like, I might, if she falls asleep, I might sit down on a bench and read for a bit or something, I really don't know how I'm going to be reading next week. I may just take both because they're both pretty small devices. Anyway, so yeah, Memory of Light is up next, and I'm super jazzed to read it. And you'll never guess what is after A Memory of Light. Original plans was I was going to read Gardens of the Moon straight after. What I'm probably going to do instead is I'm probably going to slot in a shorter, quicker book. Now, there's a ton of urban fantasy stuff that I've been like waiting in the wings to read. There's a ton of sci-fi stuff, and there's a part of me that wants to just go straight into Lightbringer because, like, then I'll be up to date on Red Rising. But I think that my plan is probably to take a mini fantasy break between finishing Wheel of Time and starting Malazan, and that's probably just one book. It may end up being two, if I feel like I still need more distance. But yeah, I'm probably going to read Dungeon Crawler Carl. That was it. That was the thing I was going to read. Probably going to read Dungeon Crawler Carl book 4. If the audio book is like under 20 hours, I think I'll probably read that. And by read, I mean listen. Like, the Dungeon Crawler Carl series is like pure listen for me, and has been, for a while. When it comes to Malazan stuff as well, Matt and I are also reading Malazan together. So the plan is still to do one book a month. We'll see how long that lasts. We might, I might even skip September. I'm not going to lie to you guys, because I'm trying to read self-published books in September. Yeah, we might skip September. With Malazan books as well, I will be exclusively eyeball reading them. I won't be doing any audio, because people have said that if you listen to the audio for Malazan, it is much harder to take everything in. So I'll be combining Malazan with another series that is a lot more like digestible and accessible and easy to get into. I don't know what that's going to be yet. It'll likely be a fantasy series. No, actually, it'll likely be a sci-fi series, because I don't want to go fantasy. So it will likely be sci-fi. It will likely be something that is really good on audio. That'll be a thing that I'll be looking for. So maybe it'll be like Will White's sci-fi series that he's written, that's like The Captain is the first book. Or maybe I'll try and find something that's like a finished sci-fi. I basically kind of am looking for something like the Red Rising trilogy to be my audiobook series while I'm reading Malazan, because I want something that's not gonna like take over my brain, but I want something that I can listen to while I'm doing chores, running, driving, basically. So I'm not wasting my audio time. I'm still reading, still getting through books to have enough content to talk to you guys about. So yeah, still working that one out. Again, I will probably start. I might even just go onto the Reddit for sci-fi and be like, please somebody help me. Like, I've read Red Rising. I need a short, fun, fast sci-fi series to read in concert with Malazan. Hopefully somebody will have a good idea. But yeah, so that's the aim of the game, is switching from Wheel of Time to Malazan as the kind of primary series I'm reading. The plan is currently, I think I've mentioned this before, but it may have just been on the full spoiler episodes with Matt. I'm reading the books. I will reading only, no audio. I will also not be using any of the like supporting info, podcasts, guides, any of that stuff while reading the book. My plan is just to read these books as like the original fans read them back when they first came out. The one thing I will possibly do is, same thing I do for a lot of books, is when I finish them, I go and seek out content around those books afterwards. So I might listen to things like 10 Very Big Books or whatever after finishing the book, but I don't want anything that was created to kind of like support Malazan fandom while reading the first book at least. If I finish that first book and I'm like, I really needed help, then from book 2 onwards, I'll be following with a podcast or something. When it comes to after Malazan, no current plans. It will be September by then. Let's be realistic. A Memory of Light is 1,000 pages. Gardens of the Moon is 750 pages, and I still have 300 pages of Dark Age left. So 2,000 pages. Unlikely I will read 2,000 pages by September 1st. So I'll probably still be reading Malazan when. Oh, and that doesn't even count adding in a Dungeon Crawler Carl in the middle, which I was planning on doing. So yeah, we'll probably actually not be skipping Malazan in September, because I'll be reading Malazan. I'll probably not even be starting it until I get to September. So that's the plan. That's what's going on. I'm still also planning on reading some new releases this year. So Blackfire Blade and what's the other one? Strength of the Few. Very excited about that. Bitter Crown and The Damned King by Justin Lee Anderson. Both of those are going to get read in the short term. Probably not in September. I really wanted to read them, like binge read them straight away after reading the Lost War. I have all the books on the shelf now, which is why I looked up. I really wanted to binge read them after reading the Lost War because I had so much fun with it, and then was like, actually, I need to make more progress with my other stuff, and I didn't have copies of those books to read at the time. So I was like, I can't wait around for for the Bitter Crown. I need to keep going on other content. So there you have it. That's where we are. One thing I did want to say: September, as I said, I'm reading self-pub stuff. I'm going to read Philip Chase's new book, Whispers of Darkness, or something. I'm really sorry, Philip, I keep forgetting what it's called, but I will read that. I'm going to also read Seamus Stovall's Time Locked Warlock, because it sounds fantastic. I'm going to read Death Tax by Andrew Givler, one of my favourite series, and there's been a book out for ages that I haven't read, so I need to get to it. And finally, well, last but not least, most certainly, Shield of the Mothership by JCM Byrne, which is book like 7 in the Hybrid Helix. You guys know I love Hybrid Helix. It'll be a really, really nice change of pace and change of tone and change of setting from all the fantasy stuff I've been reading lately. And I have 3 fantasy books planned for September so far. So yeah, and I think that also Hybrid Helix and Deck Collection and Shamey Stovall's Warlock series all have kind of similar vibes. So I'm hoping that they will be fun to read consecutively. And then I may end up putting Philip Chase's books somewhere in the middle. So I'll like start out with either Death Tax or Shield of the Mothership probably, and then I will shift through the series as I go. So that should be really fun. And Death Tax and Time Locked Warlock both have audiobooks, so I will be probably doing those as audio and the other 2 as eyeball reads. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. That's a really long-term look at my reading, and I don't know if you can tell I didn't have all that much else to talk about this week, which is why I filled the time by talking about future reading plans, although I do really enjoy doing future reading plans. The other thing I was going to say is videos wise, obviously I'll be in Disneyland, so I am unlikely to be filming anything. I usually when I go on holiday, I take my tripod and my microphone with me, but this time I'm not going to. This really is like a big family holiday. It's probably the only one we'll go on for a little while this, cost. So I really want to focus on time with the family. I'll still be bringing books because like they go to sleep early, but like it's a big family week. So there's likely to be no video on Wednesday next week. I have pre-filmed Monday's video, which will be a review of The Lost War by Justin Lee Anderson. Really excited about that one. I will have to remember to share that on Blue Sky, or just send it to Justin when I have, because he's been really great. We've messaged back and forth about the book, and he's been a really nice person, so it'd be nice to kind of share that review that he could put out into the world. And yeah, Wednesday no video, Friday no video, because the Friday show I'm going to try and remember to do this, but I'm going to try and record it on Saturday. Maybe I will do some like YouTube shorts during the week whilst I'm at Disneyland, but the likelihood is that I won't do that because I don't like making shorts and I am lazy about that. The other likelihood is I will just forget. So that's that. I think that's everything we need to talk about. I've had a great reading week with Dark Age. Primarily, I have to say, it's been primarily a audio week because I've been so busy prepping for this holiday, and prepping my job stuff mostly, and like buying all the supplies in and things like that. So yeah, really busy week, and I'm sure next week is going to be even more exhausting, but in a good way. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you're up to, what you're doing this weekend, what you're reading, any fun holidays you're going on in the near future. Let me know. If you are reading anything that I've been chatting about, please let me know. Give me some vibes, tell me how you feel about them. And if you like this video, give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, but you watched this whole video, you must be a madman. It's time to hit that subscribe button, ding the bell icon, all that stupid bullshit. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to have a great week, and I will talk to you guys next Saturday, probably. Goodbye.